Welcome home, gamer, and welcome back to Mechabellum, where we have the Weekend Tournament European. Obviously, tournaments, if you guys haven't played one before, if this is your very first tournament, plays out through either 6 or 7 rounds. In each round, the winner gains 1 point, the loser gains no points. You also gain minor points that are the sum total points of your opponent, all the way through. Every round matches players with the closest possible points. Once all players have completed a round, the next round begins. Tournament matches have a maximum of 13 rounds, and the tournament ends as soon as there is exactly one undefeated player. Ladies and gentlemen, start your sledgehammers. YESWINBIG and Alpha Titan matching up. Since we know them and they have been here for a long time, we're gonna jump in and grab YESWINBIG and Alpha Titan as our first round match. Somebody had requested that if they'd made it into Advanced 1, they'd requested that I cast their first round match. Welcome to round 1 of Weekend Tournament European number 70. Two folks from the channel here, YESWINBIG versus Alpha Titan. YESWINBIG in the group of supporters, Alpha Titan in the group of mods. Chat versus mods, let's go! Alpha Titan loves Marksman Specialist, despite the hit point debuff, no worries there. Takes the Sledge and Crawler. YESWINBIG takes the Farseer Specialist with a Tarantula Fang start. YESWINBIG came 19th in Asia this morning. And we'll have channel point predictions up for you folks. Those folks that enjoy it. YESWINBIG is running what I'm calling those early mid crawlers that are positioned in front of the tower. That ensures they can't really get pulled into the flank. It does mean that you don't have flank protection from them, but they're going to be guaranteed to be in here, and they'll arrive a little bit after. If you had a actual front rank of crawlers, these guys should arrive. They'll be past the tarantulas before something else is looking for the next target, so they'll be doing their job of protecting tarantulas. Alpha Titan has taken 5 crawlers, so not afraid of all of the tarantula on the board, just throwing out more chaff to protect the sledges. The sledges are between towers. It doesn't look like he was necessarily expecting an aggro push, despite, of course, knowing that YESWINBIG had practiced that on channel a whole lot of times. We did a Teaching Tuesday, which was all about tarantula aggro. I suppose that's a good place to mention if you want some coaching. We are happy to do some coaching on the air. You can reach out to me through Discord if that's something that interests you. YESWINBIG turning it around, and he'll say that when I started coaching him, he was 1200 MMR, and he's way up to. There's a switcher. I looked for you. I did not see you. Not see you in the list of players in the Advanced Group 1, so sorry, I could not cast at you. YESWINBIG skips. Alpha Titan takes the Assault Vulcan with YESWINBIG pushing. It doesn't feel the need for range and will take the extra hit points and movement speed. No, I commented on Squish drawing Dzemp, not Switcher. I was looking for Swisher. Yeah, no worries. And that's not my bad, of course, that stands for Mechabellum. So, YESWINBIG extending the line has very much the same build. This fang is slightly forward, and going to kind of curl a little bit. Alpha Titan has a new pack of fangs up front, in front of a Stormcaller, trying to create a funnel, and has the level 3 marksman on the Stormcaller and fang line of things. I hope folks enjoyed the Triple Threat Tricksters matches during the interregnum between the weekend tournaments. Codifly, who's here, one of our mods, Coding Firefly, is the organizer of that, has done a whole lot of work to put that together. Running it into its second season now, and the very first match, at least the one that I'm aware of, ran as a 3-3 draw, so we'll be waiting on the Trickster scores out of that one to see which of those two teams came out ahead. Of course, the Trickster score matters more than the who won, but you gain points for winning matches, so you don't really want to throw matches in order to flank and all of that. YESWINBIG took the portable shield. And Alpha Titan takes the heavy armor. If I know Titan, he's imagining that on a Vulcan. One of those big assault Vulcans coming. You can see he's just holding it. He's not placing it down yet. He's instead picked up 2 more Storms. So going to trust that the Storms, I mean, we know Storms are a good counter to the Tarantula. So he's going to put those dropping fire on top. YESWINBIG has the portable shield on a level 2 Tarantula over here, and adds Storms of his own now. YESWINBIG added this after the end of that coaching session, but has pointed it out many times as if you've got your opponent stuck in a defensive formation like this, you can just sit back and pound them with artillery, and if the artillery survives, it's worth 200 hit points per round of damage dealt. We saw that in the final I Like Napping versus Dzemp earlier, the Asia final. I Like Napping dropped out 5 Stormcallers, and they were as much value in being the 1,000 hit points each round for surviving and dishing out damage to the health bar as they were for winning on the ground. Put Dzemp in a lot of tempo trouble early on. Also, as the Farseer specialist, YESWINBIG has the Farseer joining on this left side, supporting it with both types of artillery. Of course, I really like the way that Farseer has the 16 meter per second movement rate. It'll keep up with your attack, your aggro push. I am a little surprised that YESWINBIG ran both of those into Orange Man instead of supporting the level 2 Tarantula on the right side. As you can see, it came really close to breaking through on the left, but Titan just barely able to hold. Both players on 3,500 hit points going into round 4, where we get the unit reinforcement drop, Typhoons, Melters, Wasps, and 4 level 2 Arclights a possibility. Of course, Arclight in the Friday patch, the 0.9.0.2, was dropped to a 0.9 meter reload time, 0.9 seconds as its reload time, and that has turned them into a much more effective chaff clear item that is balanced, of course, against the impact that loose formation is having for crawlers. Titan takes a pair of level 2 Wasps, puts them in flank defense, and pretty much red YESWINBIG cold here, has Wasps protecting from what is going to turn out to be a Wasp flank. And since his Wasps will get the jump during the summoning sickness time, he'll get the drop on YESWINBIG's Wasps, so he should win that front. This mobile beacon will not be mattering. Titan has probably made the decision to sell out of the sledges, so he has leveled this pack of sledges and put the heavy armor on it this round. Why does that go with the decision to sell out of them? I'm expecting he still wants the Vulcan here, but he's willing to borrow an extra level in the sledges since he's going to sell them next round anyways. And if he's planning to sell them, he's got the ability to, you know, also use the extra armor for a round. Why would you pick Wasps against the Farseer? Stangs were way better for Alpha in your opinion. Well, these Wasps did the deal in the head-to-head against the other Wasps, obviously, and it's not certain at this point that YESWINBIG is going to commit to the Farseer. He might even have sold out of it if Alpha is expecting him to go complete Stormcaller, which he did. And as you can see, Alpha's got the job done with the Wasps. YESWINBIG loses about 1,000 hit points down to 2532 here. Fortified Mustang available, Underground Threat, and another heavy armor if you're building another Vulcan with it. YESWINBIG takes the heavy armor. Does Alpha think he can afford it? We'll find out in a minute. Alpha does think he can afford it, takes the second heavy armor. So I'm expecting to see 2 heavy armor Vulcans probably this round. He can afford to sell the sledge. Selling the sledge gets him up to 1,100. 200 for the unlock. 800 for dropping a pair of them. YESWINBIG operates Jump Drive and pulls the 2 Wasps way back to his back line. Unfortunately for him, that's going to make all the other techs more expensive, so if Alpha commits into the Wasps as well, there will be a deficit for YESWINBIG. Each of these are going to be more expensive, right? Range 300 for Alpha, 500 for YESWINBIG, and an expensive way to have done that. Alpha takes the Stormcaller. I mean, it's short term, it's a good play, right? Long term, it's bad. Alpha does take 1 Vulcan, and rather than selling out of the sledges, took the Vulcan, puts the heavy armor on it, sets it up a little bit further outside. But I know Alpha will be thinking of this as he's going to throw down Scorching Flames and count on the line of Vulcans to delete the mines, which he knows are coming. Everybody who's running Tarantula at a high level is running them much the way that YESWINBIG is running right now. Taking range first, you take range first so that you can get experience and levels into the Tarantulas, and then that way you spawn higher level mines, higher level spider mines, and then once you've got the higher level mines, you don't mind the lost experience there as much. That experience isn't completely lost, it's actually spread across all of your surviving units at that point in battle, but if you're already on like fully leveled Stormcallers, for example, like this one, that would actually be lost experience. YESWINBIG wins round 5, Alpha drops to 2100, and we get the second unit drop. Typhoons, a level 5 Sabertooth, a pair of Sandworms, or a pair of Forts. YESWINBIG takes a pair of Forts. Alpha Titan takes the Saber. So is that Saber cash, or is it Saber for damage? He's putting the Saber straight opposite the Tarantula. Actually, I think that makes a lot of sense at 30,000 hit points. If something softens that Tarantula up, then double shot could break the portable shield, and then the second shot would hit the actual core. Of course, if it's not softened up, then he'd get 2 shots that totaled 36,000 rather than 2 shots that total 60,000. And if he's actually thought that through, switches it off of the portable shield and puts it onto the Tarantula. For YESWINBIG, it is a full-on, I took 2 forts, I'm going to take 2 more, and I can afford to throw down Bubble as well if I take a loan. So here we go. Of course, shield barrier for the forts in the 0902 patch was raised to the 500 cost, but it's back up to the doing 40,000 hit points per level in protection. And so it's expensive, that's why he had to take the loan. If it hadn't been raised in price, he'd have been able to afford this without the loan. So. Right, Switcher, you were saying you found them really underwhelming if they were the first tech taken? For sure. Absolutely. But late game, the idea is you get them, you know, you get something like this where the Vulcan has locked the fort or the tarantula, and it can create the mines will run in, everything is locked on the high hit point units, and the mines will just kind of escape notice and get all the way into the giant. Or the tower, or whatever it is. I'm not sure this is where YESWINBIG was imagining those two units were going to go at the start of this round, and that has hurt quite a bit. Left this giant on almost no hit points, and as a result, YESWINBIG is down to 600 hit points. I know Alpha's a big fan of steel ball production. I suspect there might be better choices for him here, but we'll see where he goes. For YESWINBIG, it's going to be incendiary and sticky oil, so we'll hope Alpha is remembering to pay attention to the units. GG's Squish says, that was officially my highest MMR opponent ever. I think I could have had it, but I effed it up. Oh well, fun game. GG's. Right. High-level spiders with range and mech rage are... they're a beast in their own way, right? And then you can add the spiders to them, and it just becomes... or the mines to it, and they just become... ridiculous. Alpha is cognizant of the oil and fire play, has parts of it blocked. Obviously there will be some of the chaff will get hit in it, but not all of it. And meant to have this off for you guys so we don't get spoilers. Actually also prepped a no spoilers when that thing disappears. So, there we go. Oh, well, look who it is, says Titan. Indeed. So Titan blocking these two portions of the shield, shielding those two portions of the oil and fire drop, really key for him. He's also getting a lot of value out of these two anti-missile devices. That one even deciding to tank some things at the very end of the round here. Might not have been how he drew it up, but that's how it went. And at this point, the back line of marksmen are up to 2 techs, multiple levels, and even though they have to handle the wasps, they are capable of it. Again, a giant surviving with very few hit points. Going to be critical for the tempo here. And Titan gets done with 50 extra hit points of damage on the board. There we go. Aw, thank you, Uncle Lazy. This is a good match. Really well played. Both of them right in this 1700 to 1800 MMR range. So... YESWINBIG, of course, is not knocked out of the tournament. You aren't eliminated from a tournament until you've had 3 losses. So that does not end the day for YESWINBIG. You could still rise as high as second. Around the league, we have a win from Apooche. Renate gets an upset win over Galaxy. Rooster finally breaks the round 1 duck. He'd lost round 1 twice in a row last week. Gets a round 1 win here against Spell Randy. Crossfit Flix beats Yakimaru. Too Smart gets a win. I think this is Red Sunset that they beat. play Archer over Asmodeus. Asmodeus had had a very nice round 1 upset last week. I'm not sure I recognize that one. Alpha Titan we saw beat YESWINBIG. Genetic over Till. We'll jump into this match in a moment. Hawk in Space beats Faker. Sunnyside over Dionys. Fishmob over Karl Franz. Stony beats Lord Fontes. Of course, Stony, one of the 2 organizers of the Dev Pro tourney, so doing great work in the community here. Has a great YouTube channel as well. Rio Grande over Cheeseburglar. Krog, well, Professor Shotoff didn't ready up. Lord Clencariat beat Mamaro. Valiant over Illuminati. Woot beats Gawkle. Doxun versus Time Skipper is still ongoing. Blue Hair over Zenzuzex. And Dzemp beats Squish. Well, I think maybe we will jump into the Doxun match, see how the dog is doing. Time Skipper, what the heck have you built, sir? This is a board. It is a Wraith with field maintenance and range on an amplifying core, sitting above but not helping with degen. 3 triple-teched hackers, a level 3 with range, a level 4 with an item. This is a really good call. But these hackers have... actually, it's only 2 high-level hackers. The hackers have range, multi-control, and importantly, enhanced control. So if they manage to take over one of these forts, they will restore the fort all the way back up to full health. As you can see right here, if it works, it does not work. The Phoenix killed it, didn't let it get hacked. The many high-level wasps as well. They are AA wasps, and they're getting deleted by anti-air barrage triple-teched forts. And now you can see one of these forts has been hacked in the middle of there, and the second fort gets hacked and put up to full hit points. Bunches of Doxun's army are stuck on, yes, that is a level 5 command center, and that is it's finally gone down, but it only inflicts a single second of debuff on Doxun's units. And Time Skipper winning the round here. Doxun dropped to 1055, 755, and kind of lucky that forts don't count full damage. No, Switcher, I don't tend to get feedback on them quickly. It's more like we make sure that they're in the DB and get worked on. But that one, I think, categorized as the... categorized in the fix before launch, most likely. We're into round 11 here. Doxun. Doxun picks up some counter hackers, enhanced control counter hackers. So in a hack off, right, you want to restore units to full health and force the other guy's hacker to work through them. Doxun counting on the idea that his level 2 hackers, even though they are lower level, they should outperform these guys because these ones are split into 5 beams that do 1/17 of their original control efficiency. So 1/6 damage on 5 different targets, whereas Doxun will be doing full damage to 1 target. Hackers are on the menu today, boys. Of course, the shield barriers from the forts do a lot of work at the start of this round. The hackers get stuck on the shield barriers for so long that their huge DPS is converted just to that. Here you've got one fort hacked, says, and Doxun hacks it back to full health, which that was the plan all along. Hacks that one back to full health. Hacks that one back to full health. That is basically just the way Doxun drew it up. And now it's down to just forts versus hackers. And Fort wins that one. Not much left on the board that can handle a level 5 field maintenance Wraith with an amp core. It's got 150,000 hit points and healing that at 4.5% per second. That's a lot, I think, is the official number. About 6,000 something DPS in total healing. Yeah, it's not going down anytime soon. You might want some EMP on perhaps the Phoenix? Perhaps the Phoenix to turn this off? So, despite stopping the hacker problem, Doxun loses round 11 to Time Skipper and is down to 255 hit points. Time Skipper on the verge of a major upset. Time Skipper takes 3 level 2 Scorpions for the shield break. Doxun takes 3 level 1 Sandworms. Is there going to be a beautiful mobile beacon play here? Is there a mobile beacon out this direction with those Sandworms? Is that where we're going? Time Skipper has decided that the Wraiths were the successful element here, so brings out 2 more of them. Doxun is not going for a clever mobile beacon play, instead spreading the Sandworms out to 3 different places, and took a ranged Melter. Of course, Melter and Hacker work together very, very well. Did he also take EMP on the Phoenix? Dox? You're EMPing them, right? Shield Bubble on his unit of control hackers, counter-control hackers. Does not, at 450, did not take the EMP on the Phoenix. So, counting on the ranged Melter to take down the level 6 now Wraith, without EMP, still no problem. Eventually it'll ramp up to enough damage to exceed the, now, goodness, quick math, 7,200 plus 900, 8,100 DPS. Doxun went for a call-in Overlord on the back line that is slowly working through a pack of Fangs with armor, but the idea is it's closest to the tower here. He can get the debuff during the... But, oh my goodness, Time Skipper has leveled it up to a level 3 tower. This is one way to prevent all the triple threat tricksteriness. Just level your towers to as high as you can. Make them a fighting unit. And the biggest problem for Doxun, of course, as long as this Wraith survives, Doxun is KO'd, and down he goes. Everything else hacked. Doxun knocked out at the first hurdle by Time Skipper with an 1865 MMR. Nicely done, Time Skipper. The dog in chainmail goes down. Round 1 upset. Was there one other match we hadn't seen the result from? Rio Grande beat Cheeseburglar, and HR Geiger Chad beats I Am Znart. And further down, winners include Mumbo Jumbo, Little Princesses, Mike Tyson, ITM, Aesop Sock, Eagle, Angry Kid, Dr. Medrassen, Cast, Tweak, Mr. Prepper, Corrupt Empathy, Bobby Fischer, Dim Point, Bruder, TNT, Terrence Chill, Clarence Boddicker, Family TV, Fedez, Hopsky, Fidlam, Dragoon, and High Cross Usagi. That puts us through to round 2. Apooche, Dzemp, Blue Hair, and Rooster all still alive. Apooche draws Doxun in the spoiler role. Well, that is going to be the best match of the round, I would expect. Alpha Titan up against Cast. Could be interesting as well. But yeah, I think we just have to jump into the Doxun versus Apooche. That's the best match on offer, right? Welcome to round 2 of Weekend Tournament European and number 70, Apooche versus Doxun. We just saw Doxun upset in the first round by Time Skipper, an 1850 MMR player. Apooche, of course, knocked out of this tournament last week at round 2 by Rooster in much the same position. Being the number 1 seed has a price, and that price is facing the top player who has lost a match. Zizka, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. Without support from subscribers, of course, there would not be a channel. Enjoy this kind of content. You guys are the ones that keep us on the air. Appreciate it. Apooche near side took a Sabertooth Specialist. Sabertooth Specialist so strong, even with the 500 hit point debuff. But Saber's just so good. He might not have gotten the pack he wanted, especially not into Tarantulas with Mustang and Crawler. Doxun is a Fortified Specialist, so all of these have 17% extra hit points. And Fangs and Crawlers for Doxun. Ziska's question, which prompted this sub, I think, is wouldn't one ball added on the left have countered that level 5 tower? And it would have gotten through that level 5 tower and allowed those units to come over and join, yes. And the reason for that, of course, is no matter how high the level you have on the tower, the steel ball damage ramps up and up and up, and eventually it's going to go down because the steel ball is doing so much damage. Of course, it was only going to buy 1 second of debuff, but it would have guaranteed that the units that were stuck on this left side tower were able to get involved in the fight a little bit quicker. I think the real gut shot for Doxun was that he'd expected that 200 cost Overlord flank, the Overlord call-in, to just have an unprotected run on a level 1 tower, and Time Skipper leveled it up to level 3. Of course, by round 12 of a match, you have so much money that you can afford to do something like that. But Time Skipper really going for no, I'm going to force you to beat me in the field, and not just cheese towers approach. That long-running Wraith play was something we saw Dzemp using to essentially force tempo pressure from Standard also. Doxun winning in round 1. Apooche with that lowered hit point total dropped to 3,500. Welcome, Mr. Krieger. How are you doing? And yes, Ziska, it was a crazy intelligent play from Time Skipper there. Doxun takes the haste module. I mean, I'm imagining that goes on to one of these aggro-positioned tarantulas. She's caught up on the front, kind of the same way that YESWINBIG did. Very different formation for Doxun. The crawlers supporting the Fangs. New Fang here. New Phoenix behind. The Phoenix deep gets a haste module. And of course, the reason this is so deep is so that if you dropped a Rhino or a... you drop some kind of flank now, but whatever that is, he's got this flank covered. And he can also push up quickly. It will rejoin the battle at a much higher rate of speed, at additional 5 meters per second, gets the Phoenix up to 21 meters per second. So it'll be the fastest thing. No, escape velocity. Doxun is in the spoiler role as the highest ranked player with 1 loss, and Apooche is in the top seed of the tournament. So that just makes this the single most dramatic match in probably the most even match in the second round. Apooche's got the Saber and took, I believe, the intensive training to get it up to level 2. So, big Saber, deleting tarantulas, just does not care. And the one thing it's not going to be able to delete is the Phoenix, I mean, I love the play of dropping a Phoenix into this battle when you know the Saber is coming. But we didn't manage to take out all of the Mustangs, and Apooche stabilizes and wins round 2. Doxun took Advanced Missile Device Specialist. Clever play, since he's got this exposed saber tooth. He can drop a pair of missiles onto it, potentially. Or, basic saber tooth has just over 15,000 hit points, and Doxun's missiles now do 15,000. So, that's what that play is about. I have been tempted into tempoing myself out of a game by spending too much on missiles early with the Advanced Missile Device. So we'll see how that goes, but it does mean that this missile protects him against a flank saber, which might be one of the things he was thinking about. Just cut that play off entirely. For Apooche, we've added a second saber and one more pack of Mustangs. The Mustangs are also ranged. For Doxun, we've got a level 2 Tarantula and 4 Tarantulas instead of 2 now. So, here we come. Let's go. But Tarantulas are getting deleted by Sabers. This time, though, the Phoenix with a haste module able to help punch through that big level 2 Saber. And that has gotten a... It's taken out all the Tarantula, or all of the Sabers. We've got 1 Tarantula left. Unfortunately, it's going to be fighting through debuff thanks to about 8 hero crawlers, and we're on even footing, 3576 to 3556, going into round 4 with the unit drop. Melter, Marksman, pair of Farseers, it's 4 level 2 Marksman is so good, or 2 level 2 Fire Badgers. If you quote Rooster, Sea Badger, Pick Badger, that's what Apooche is doing. I do like Farseer in aggro, but Doxun has chosen the 4-pack of level 2 Marksman. It's not running Assault Mode Marksman, so these are full carry Marksman, if you will, with range EM and EMP and aerial specialization. Doxun, not a believer in the range your Tarantula's first strategy. Goes for Spider Mines first. I suspect that is as much to get some chaff out on the board as anything, so that he keeps putting chaff in front of the Sabertooth. It's not going to be very frequent, of course. You spawn them only once every 15 seconds. And they'll be running into those Fire Badgers. They're not going to make it all the way to the Fire Badgers. Not with what is now a level 3 Mustang backing them up. Apooche taking level 2, and using the intensive training to get this thing up to level 3. Doxun extends the Tarantula line, so he's got 6 Tarantulas spewing mines, and in particular this one will be covering that far side approach that cost him last round. Ranging of spiders would not hurt the Phoenix. The Phoenix has a default of 120. The spider would get out to 115. But there's certainly plays, Switcher, where you would have that problem, where if you ranged your ground unit first. I've made this mistake with Sledge and Phoenix, for example. You range at the Sledges, now they have 135, so you watch your 120 meter range Phoenix run out in front and get shot. And you're like, oh, I can't believe I just did that to myself again. Apooche wins round 5, drops Doxun down to 3,200. So just under 3,200 and just under 3,600. Doxun already has the Missile Device Specialist, also takes the Advanced Shield Specialist. So he's expecting this to go to a late game where he's going to get value out of these, being able to drop these things with shields, missiles. Just going to try and get some value out of it. Here, those missiles will KO a pack of level 2 Fire Badgers. Normally a missile does not knock out a level 1 Fire Badger because it has 5,500 hit points. The Sentry Missile only does 5,000 damage. These guys have 11,000 hit points, but of course, with the Advanced Missile Device, Doxun will be dealing 15,000 damage to them, so they should go down immediately. As long as it doesn't get triggered by this poor Fang. And I think these crawlers should be fast enough to hold that Fang pinned in place. Doxun has one missile covering this flank with Crawler and Wasp call in. Some of these Fangs will walk forward, I think, but most of them will actually turn and engage the Wasps. We'll see how that goes. The Haste Phoenix are up to level 2. Is there anything else to note? It's a line of 5 sledges, or 5 Sabertooth now, facing all of those mines. You can see the Sabers got stuck on crawlers. Here, the Wasps will win this fight against the Fangs, but there won't be very many Wasps left. Doxun cleaning up now that these Tarantulas have leveled up, level 2 Tarantulas. Of course, the level 2 Spider Mine has 1,500 hit points and blows up for 9,000 damage. It took a while for the Mustangs to clear them, but once they did, the round goes pretty heavily for Apooche. Doxun down to 2,222. Palindrome. Storms for Doxun. Apooche has the intensive available, so if you wanted to go with a big, very big giant or a big sandworm, that would be a possibility. We know Apooche likes to take his time thinking about them. He's not at all concerned about having the APM to catch up, so devote his time to thinking. Takes a pair of Overlords. You can do either Photon or Overlord Artillery or Launcher Overload to try and take care of these mines, minimize the outcoming damage, KO things on the ground. For Doxun, he's adding another Tarantula on the outside and one on the back corner here. This one, of course, will be making its own mines. Those will run up. He does not put it behind this tower because if you throw down the mine and opponent has a missile strike of some sort that can blow up the mine next to the tower, your own mine can blow up your own tower. Friendly fire is possible with the mines, just the way it is with the exploding rhinos. Kind of love that risk-reward. How different would Vulcan be as a unit if it had an automatic explosion like that? Go ahead, use the Vulcan as much as you want, but when it goes, it's going to hurt everything around it. So you might not want to make it the centerpiece of your army with those huge fuel tanks. Apooche takes hit points and has actually gone all the way up to Defense Enhancement 2 off of Tower. And did protect the Badgers from additional missile shenanigans. No techs on those Overlords yet. And Doxun has... I want to detect the Marksman. Doxun has no techs on the Marksman, so... Looks like Doxun is going to win on the left, and Apooche's going to win on the right. The air units are done, and Doxun's Stormcallers and Tarantula should be able to clean up the surviving Mustangs this time. So Doxun wins round 6. Apooche down to 2874 now. We go to round 7. No unit reinforcement possible. And Doxun takes an immediate Wasp Swarm, did not stop to think. Didn't pass go, didn't collect 50 credits. Mass-produced Scorpion? Nope, we take the Wasp Swarm for both players. They'll be matching each other side by side in Doxun's backfield there, where Doxun's Wasps will have a little bit of support from the Fangs, and Apooche's will not. Note that Apooche's Mustangs are scaling out of control over here. This pack is up to level 6, and it's did 78,000 damage last round in a losing effort, has done almost 250,000 total, and has the intensive training available to it next round. Apooche takes a pair of Overlords, and for Doxun, It's been a lot of levels. What else has it been? Oh. Corner flank crawlers are the 2 deploys. Yes, that level 6 has been crying out for an item all game long, but there have not been items offered. Nothing better than something like a anti-interference module. And Apooche took anti-missile on the sabers. Of course, has all those... so many sabers out there with which he can shut down the Stormcallers. Looks like this round is going to end much the same, with Apooche getting the... or Doxun winning on the left, Apooche winning on the right. Apooche under tower debuff, hitting the level 1 tower over there. And Doxun wins the round. 2 marksmen able to take care of the last Overlord. These 2 are even Stevens going into round 8. 24-74 for Apooche, 22-22 for Doxun. EMP available every 3rd round. That could be very, very strong, especially if there's a... I mean, goodness, if Apooche were to get a skill specialist, especially if he took that and then got a skill specialist, he'd be in just a crazy good shape. Yes, it's a level 7 Mustang with a haste module now. There's the item you were crying out for, Uncle Lazy. And thank you again for the big work that you did on the Dev Pro tourney. For those that don't know, Uncle Lazy has volunteered to do that again for the launch tourney, which there will be further announcements on from Paradox on Thursday the 12th. We should have the full-on announcement of that, including the cash prize, the dates, the times, the caster lineup, the invitees, and of course the qualification and how to qualify, how to enter, because that is open to pretty much everybody out there. My entire audience, it would be wonderful to see some of you guys involved in that. I'd love to see some of you qualify. I'm sure some of you can. So Apooche has taken yet more boats and has Mothership coming off of them. The anti-air for Doxun not very strong. He's adding 2 more marksmen. And other than that, it's the fangs, 3 fangs with no tech. Not really going to get it done against a whole lot of wasps coming off the boats. It was an all-in round for Apooche, you're not wrong. He took lone and range. Doxun just did not take the lone, but does take the range and speed. So trying to push through without taking the lone yet. Doxun's been betting on the long game all afternoon on this game. And this round going much the same as the last, with Doxun winning the left side and Apooche winning on the right. This time, despite the tower debuff and despite 1 more surviving marksman, there's just too many wasps tanking marksman shots. 3 surviving overlords drops Doxun to 1,010 hit points. Of course, Apooche is carrying the lone, so Doxun has 1,800 to spend. Apooche has 1,500 this round. We get the unit reinforcements. 3 level 2 steel balls will be the choice for Doxun. Apooche has 2 level 2 typhoons, 2 level 1 sandworms, a level 3 Vulcan, or steel balls of his own as the possibilities. Doxun, why not the typhoons? With all those wasps coming, why not the... What? I'm confused. Because I'm going to buy and tech 3 Mustangs, Elite Recruit, Mass Recruit, Double Tech, Range, and Aerial Specialization on triple Mustangs, and I'm going to position them so that they cover the possible Wasp Swarm positions that Apooche might be going for. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Apooche opted for the worms, has not opted for the hackers, is not returning these mines to sender, and Doxun has now triple-teched the tarantulas with range and mech rage. He's been quietly tanking them throughout the game. That's been part of what's been winning him this left side. And Apooche is sort of stuck with Missiles Interceptor on, doesn't have the cheap Sabertooth attacks anymore. So where he might have wanted range, he's currently outranged by the Tarantulas, 130 to 110. He does pick up a pack of wasps to give the shield item on, so all of the wasps everywhere will have shields. And those two worms will pop up somewhere. Yeah. Leaving the worms. There they are. Worms do exist. And that's still not enough to stop that left side push, although this time one of the key tarantulas has gone down for Doxun. Other than that, the round looks very similar, except for the fact that there are now a zillion Mustangs. And those Mustangs are chewing up all the wasps. Now they're chewing up Overlords. And now they're working on the high-level Mustangs. Doxun winning this round pretty convincingly. Apooche dropped from 2,400 down to 1,400. Doxun still on 1,000. We go to round 10. We knew this one was going to be an epic. That's why we picked it. Rather than following a pair of 2-0s, we took the top-seeded 1-0 against the top-seeded player with one loss. Often the best match of round 2. Both players with the skip this time out. Lots and lots of money to spend. Tough to do this, all the spending in 90 seconds or so. I do wish the game would give us a little bit more time as we got into round 10, 11, 12, 13. Apooche takes the Overlord Artillery for all these boats. Sensible enough. Doxun has Mechanical Division on the steel balls now. The Phoenix is the gold damage dealer despite never getting a tech. And they're never getting a wingman. Just the two of them. We fly solo over here. Apooche used a normal level and intensive training to bring the Mustang up to level 9. It's now a level 9 Mustang with range and armor-piercing bullets and haste module. Where it used to be common to see HE on Mustangs, most of the top-level players have replaced HE with armor-piercing bullets on the grounds that they are expecting to see loose formation from opponent. All those shield device specialist shields for Doxun, 56,000 hit points as opposed to 40,000 on Apooche's shields. And that's making a difference. It really slows things down, you can see. Overall course of the game going very similar. Doxun still winning on the Phoenix strengthened side, but also winning on the far side even before the tower debuff arrives. Apooche on 458 hit points. Titan brings us an update from one of the other matches. He got cast down to 260 hit points, but then the ER Steel Ball card dropped and gave him the push he needed to break Titan's lines. It was a really good match and really bummed about the card dropping. Ye fair. We've got the unit reinforcements, and Apooche takes triple level 3 sledges and gives them armor enhancement. So armor enhancement and field maintenance. So here's a guy who used to run carry sledge techs, now runs both armor and heals. Elite recruits 3 more packs of them. So Apooche, a sledgehammer lover, and throws out sledges in this I'm going to tank. I'm going to tank forever sort of thing, essentially looking to get out in front and tank the Mustangs, while his own Mustangs fight from, and the Wasps, I guess, fight from much further back. Does that actually work if you don't range the Wasps, Apooche? Don't you... I guess you're keeping the boat proper alive. But it's only got 15 extra 15 extra meters range. So, don't the aerial spec Mustangs overshoot this? What am I missing here? I mean, is it just a Hail Mary we're hoping? No, good question, Switcher. The shield device specialist only affects the shields from the shield device. It does not affect the barrier or portable shield or other things like that. Specifically, things from the shield device. That's the more explicit naming. That's one of the things the new translation team were working on. So, you know, we used to hear shield specialist and think like, oh yeah, that should apply to everything, but it's much more specific now. Shield to device specialist. Great, that makes sense, you know. And as we can see, the armored sledges didn't actually get the job done. In part, I mean, they do over here now that the round is over, but they weren't able to get the job done against the Mustangs because the Mustangs have anti-air on them, and that allowed them to, even though the sledge was in range, as long as there was an air unit in range as well, it would overshoot the air unit, or overshoot to target the air unit that's a little bit closer, based on the difference in ranges. So I know these two are friends. They get along really, really well. And it will both hurt and be part of a point of pride for Doxun to have handed Apooche the loss. Second week in a row, Apooche has gone 1-0, been the top seed, and faced a exceptionally good player. Rooster last week, Doxun this week, in the spoiler role in round 2. That is a little unfortunate for Apooche. We've already got the round complete, so around the league, Blue Hair, Crossfit, Flicks, Play Archer, High Cross Usagi, Bobby Fischer beats Sunnyside, Jay Shoots, Cast beats Titan as previously described, Angry Kid takes the loss, ITM wins, Lil Princesses, Renate, Thalian, Eagle, Rio Grande, Stony, Hawkins Space, Fish Mob, and what else did we get on the twos? Well, we're never going to be able to read that one to you because we are into the next round. Titan in the spoiler role loses to Cast and draws Blue Hair next. Ouch. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Or possibly Dzemp against Renate. Let's take Dzemp and see what Dzemp is up to right now. If you're that confident in it, Mr. Creaker, you can put your channel points where your mouth is. Welcome to round 3 of Weekend Tournament European number 70. Dzemp, the Dev Pro champion and Weekend Tournament 67 Asia champion, is nearside blue aerial specialist, up to 5,300 hit points now with Arclight and Sledge. Renate on the far side is still thinking about it. I could see why. I'm not sure I love any of these packs. I think I would lean towards one of these two. I could also be convinced to play that one. They do take the Giant Specialist with Tarantula and Marksman. This was one of the starting packs that YESWINBIG practiced on the Teaching Tuesdays with us, got right up on the front line and puts the Tarantulas behind. We'll see if Renate... It looks like they're going to play it from standard. Dzemp, aerial specialist with the wide line, arc lights and sledgehammers, runs the crawlers behind. Uncle Lazy says, I wanted to see more hackers. Well, if Renate goes with Tarantula Spider Mines, I suspect that will be Dzemp's play, because that's what he used to beat the... to beat Steel Sane in the second match of the finals of the Dev Pro tournament. Of course, you can find full coverage of that on Stoney's YouTube and mine. This round at least, Dzemp is pushing, gets pushed pretty hard, does not actually get the round win. Renate had essentially the perfect matchup with 3 marksmen and 2 tarantulas. I mean, we know that that group tends to beat the sledgehammer and arclight starting pack. Dzemp skipping all of these, doesn't want the improved war factory, doesn't want the extended range fort, skipped haste and missile device. Renate takes haste module. If he had put it on a back corner Phoenix, I was going to call instant replay. Not that he's up front the way that Doxun was. Instead, Renate takes a Stormcaller. Dzemp, by skipping, was able to take 2 Stormcallers. We know, of course, that tarantulas are weak to storms. At 75 meter range, they're just outranged by 100 meters and in under the guns for so long. And Stormcallers, for all their strengths and weaknesses, one of the things they are very good at is dropping high DPS on a solitary target, on a stationary target, I should say. And a stationary target with short range is exactly what the tarantulas become. That is going to switch this round completely, despite Renate adding the storms. It goes all Dzemp's way. Renate dropped to 4,100 hit points, Dzemp at 4,600. We get the unit reinforcements, Sandworm, Fire Badger, Overlord, and Wasp available. Dzemp takes the Fire Badgers. I kind of expect Renate to be thinking about the Wasps, given that there's no real upshoot on Dzemp's side of the board right now. Dzemp has already deployed 2 Fangs to be some emergency upshoot in case there are Wasps, and in case those Wasps are out on the flank. Also drops a deep Fire Badger. Interesting. Really interesting. What are we doing with this? Not a unit I'm used to seeing from that deep. I mean, Dzemp, of course, hovering around 2,300 MMR, winning weekend tournaments and Dev Pro tournaments, now brings them back into the middle and adds another Stormcaller there. For Renate, he's taken the Wasps and put the haste module on them, has them deployed up front where they would be the first things into the fray, and does run jump drive on them, so could move them around a bit, and adds range on the marksman. Is it me, or are those Wasps extremely exposed right now? I mean, they do kind of want a answer of some sort, right? You have to answer them, you can't just ignore them. But it can be a little bit difficult to protect them. Possible that Renate is considering transitioning to a Worm Wraith Wasp aggro at this point. Still has 5 Wasps left against the last pack of Fangs even. As Fangs go down to the guns. Long-range guns of the Stormcallers. And Dzemp is down to 4365. Renate winning with those haste moduled Wasps, which do get a level this round. Both players skipping the early Elite Hacker, the efficient small unit manufacturing, and the steel ball production line. Might be a bit early for that on round 4. Round 4, of course, would be the time to try and get value out of small unit manufacturing, if you were going to play in a small unit game. Dzemp takes 1, 2, 3 Wasps. Has 450 left. Has also taken the 1 and 1. Waiting around, I think, to tech, right? Floating the 450 perhaps. and not teching his wasps until he sees whether Renate is teching or selling out of them. Right, he doesn't want to be in aerial specialization wasps of his own if Renate has sold. But the same comment about Dzemp's board being weak to wasps, the same is true about Renate's board. Switcher, I definitely want 2v2 tournaments, and I know that Greylock has been thinking about tournament system, has some updates in mind for them. Obviously, I'm under NDA, so I can't speak to anything I've seen behind the scenes, but the things I know that Bearlike has announced include 2 more 1v1 type of tournaments that are going to award the medals, of course. And I believe that is going to be a monthly tournament and a season tournament, I believe, are the 2 that he's announced. But again, those would both be 1v1s. Really want to see 2v2 tournaments. Obviously, those are a little bit more of a hassle for the team. They would require a whole lot more implementation. But 2v2 and 4-player free-for-all tournaments would just be amazing. In the meantime, I do think if there's somebody listening out there who loves 2v2s and wanted to start the process of organizing a community tournament, I think you'd get a lot of love for that one and a lot of support. I know past tournaments like the Trash Masters have had players donate the prize pool, even if Paradox isn't the ones putting it on. Since I'm committed to doing the launch tournament, which, again, more details are coming on the 12th, since I'm committed to doing that, I can't be committed to putting on a... Can't be committed to putting on a 2v2 tournament as well. I'd be overwhelmed. See, if you exist, if a person out there who wants to organize a 2v2 tournament is in, I will commit to playing in it, rather than casting it, and... Uncle Lazy has already said, I will donate my time, just ask whenever. If you're not aware, of course, there is a guild Discord that you can find here. It's invite only. The motto is be a gentleman, win or lose. And we talk about this a lot. The rules are basically be a good human being. No racism, no sexism, no homophobia, and no spam to the guild Discord. But you can find at least 200 players there. I think we are somewhere around 205. I do want to give a specific shout out. We have added another moderator there. Congrats and thank you to Alpha Titan. Appreciate you stepping up to do that, buddy. In addition to many other things he's doing for the community, he is also helping to organize and present the launch tournament, as well as doing the cleanup behind the scenes. Dzemp, like Apooche in the previous match, has committed to an Overlord answer. This is a different Overlord answer with range enhancement on 4 Overlords and anti-air or air spec on the 3 Wasps. That is limited the gold damage dealing level 4 Wasps to less than 19,000 damage last round. Renate answering the Wasps with 4 forts with anti-air barrage this round. I learned something in the Asia cast today that I did not know, which is that temp range affects the temporary range of both anti-air barrage and Chinga. So I had previously given some bad advice, which was don't take temp range if you're running Chin Gun and not running because it would push Chin Gun beyond beyond the range, but devs were on top of that. They did that on purpose. They've given the additional bonus range to Chin Gun and to anti-air barrage, as well as other things of a similar nature. The temporary range, for example, extends the EMP barrage for the melter, etc. So all your little things gain bonus from temp range. They gain bonus range from it. They do not gain bonus range from the laser sights item. This round, Dzemp is able to stabilize. Drops Renate to 3,300. We've got 3,300 basically for both players at this stage. Even Steven. We get round 7. Tank production line for Dzemp. And a nuke for Renate. Played a 4-player free-for-all recently, which saw 3 nukes dropped on the player who was not in the lead, and the justification the people in chat gave was they had overlords. We didn't care who won, as long as it wasn't the overlord player. Like, oh my gosh. Renate dropping them on this side, on Dzemp's left. Dzemp getting a little bit lucky to buy the new overlord on the right side. Also took launcher overload, so these are launcher overload ranged overlords. Brings the range down a little bit, but doubles the attack speed. And they're still longer than range. Mr. Krieger, that sounds like something that somebody should be doing some science on. We should test it. Does Farseer range bonus affect fort abilities? Renate pays up the 500 for the new barrier. Has 5 forts. It's worth doing at this point. Fang flank from Renate. Just trying to buy some time out here. Separate units off. Has the nuke hitting 2 overlords. There's no shields up for Dzemp. I suspect that is why the shield barriers for Renate. Nuke hits 2 of the 5 overlords. And that is going to leave a whole lot of hit points on the board for Renate. And an exposed tower over there. It does bring down one of the forts. That'll be key for determining whether or not Dzemp survives, I think. And Dzemp is dropped to 930 hit points. A huge blow from the nuke, but not enough to finish him off. The champ is staggered, but still standing. Renate still at 3,300 hit points. We get the unit reinforcements. 3 level 2 Mustangs taken by Renate. 2 level 1 Sandworms by Dzemp. They're going to be in kind of flank screening positions. Dzemp adds Sandstorm to the worms. Of course, Sandstorm debuffed from 10 seconds to 5 seconds with the most recent patch. The 0902 patch. Don't think everybody has quite gotten to terms with that. That patch only came out Friday morning. These are, of course, Saturday tournaments. I'm not sure everybody has quite gotten to terms with this, but I don't think Sandstorm is the automatic first pick for the Sandworm anymore. 5-second duration. Not very much. And of course, they are very vulnerable to acid on crawlers, which Renate has available on the bar. Renate goes for the level 2 Mustangs. Immediately gave them both range and air specialization. Did not take the other 2 to kind of complete the set. Just going to have them to handle wasps, possibly predicting a wasp, you know, a mothership off the overlords. And of course, because those wasps, or because those Mustangs are offered the Sandstorm, much stronger for the worm. But Fortress is pretty much the counter to Sandworm Giant for Giant. And on the side where Renate had a level 2 fort in front of a level 4 marksman. He's able to get the job done, gets through to tower, and oh my god, it's a level 4 research center that Dzemp is stuck on. That is an impressive research center, Renate. Wow. He just counted on winning this side with the Mustangs and leveled that thing up ridiculously. Of course, we saw that work against Doxun. Will it work against Dzemp? Is leveling the tower the new meta giant slayer strat? I mean, these are now triple teched. He takes the mothership into the Mustangs, despite what he's seeing there. And of course, Renate has sold out of the wasps, so all these generated wasps are aerial specialization. There are no air targets to shoot at, and they will be thrown out in the way of the Mustangs. So we've got... Wow, Renate goes with dropping the shield barrier and putting 2 forts right up front, having seen the smoke bomb available. Figured this was the spot it would drop. Kind of blocks with units out front, even takes his own secondary shield over here, and mobile beacons out into the shield-protected grouping. So the oil is blocked, the smoke is all but perfectly blocked. There's a tiny hiccup of it there, there's a tiny hiccup of oil over here. But great read from Renate. Dzemp says, I forgot to put shields on my wasps after triple threat tricksters. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be running a triple threat tricksters unit comp. I don't know if you do enough of the different types of match, Dzemp, that you're habitually wanting to change unit compositions, but there was a huge update in 090 for the unit modification screen, which lets you save loadouts. So I strongly recommend you copy your current loadout, make that your triple threat tricksters loadout, and then have your default in your triple threat tricksters, so that you can just go back and forth between them really easily. Those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I will show in a moment. Renate, congratulations. Huge upset against one of the great players of the game. Dzemp, well done. We will jump in Alpha Titan facing Blue Hair at 450 hit points each. Thanks for pointing that one out, Yakamaru. Can Alpha Titan win against Blue Hair? It wouldn't win him a tournament here, but it would do tremendous things for his confidence. You'd love to see it. Blue Hair, super aggro on this side, running Fort, running Mustang, running Wasp, has some ranged Wraiths, ranged Mustangs. Alpha Titan's defense consisting of triple-teched Melters and aerial spec forts. Yes, clearly he should just level his towers. Level his towers and win game. He's got... It's... No. The leveled towers are on the wrong side, guys. Oh. Is Blue Hair the same person as Miasim? No, Blue Hair is one of the all-time greats of the game, and runs their own channel on Bilibili. So think of Blue Hair as kind of like the... Blue Hair is probably the Sacco of... probably the Sacco of Chinese Mechabellum. I am... Hello, hello, Ghosters. Welcome. Oh, Blue Hair does, in fact, finish it out. Has just enough surviving to knock Alpha Titan out. Alpha Titan in the spoiler role, Blue Hair was already 2-0. Alpha, that should definitely give you the confidence that you can go toe-to-toe with anybody, which is what I have been telling you, sir. Very, very nice. We've got a minute and a half. I did just want to show Dzemp. I'm probably going to rename this one to Triple Threat Trickster. Trickster. There we go. And then I'll just work this one out in terms of throwing that down for my 1s and 2s. But you can set things up so that you have different different loadouts, and it'll just automatically switch between them, right? To whatever your loadout, whatever loadout you need. So really strongly recommend you do that if you're in something like the Triple Threat Tricksters tournament, or if you play a lot of 2v2s, etc. Yeah, I should do that, actually. That would be pretty clever of me, Uncle Lazy, since I think a lot of people have missed that feature entirely. So Blue Hair beats Alpha Titan, Cast beats Genetic, High Cross Usagi beats ITM, Renate, we saw upset Dzemp, congratulations, Blix beats Rio Grande, Play Archer beats Jay Schutz, Hawk in Space over Fish Mob, Stony beats Lord Clinkariat, Rooster gets to 3-0 against Thalion. Schizo Family TV beats Little Princesses. Iron Commander Instructor. Thank you, Mr. Krieger. Iron Commander will be up against Stony. Cast will be up against CrossFit. We've got Hawk in Space against Blue Hair. Play Archer against Schizo Family TV. Blix against Rooster. Renate against High Cross Usagi. I'd love to do CrossFit versus Cast. Let's go. There are cash prize tourneys. I got to cast the DreamHack tournament, which had a $3,000 prize pool over the summer, and I have been asked to host, organize, and cast a cash prize tourney for celebrating the launch of the game, which is on September 26th. To be clear, that is a cash prize tourney sponsored by the producers of the game, by Paradox themselves. So we're really looking forward to that one. It is open to all players, and we will be posting qualification route, how you get yourself into it, dates, times, and the cash prize pool. That is going to be announced by Paradox on the 12th of September. Launch of the game is on the 26th, and the tournament will follow shortly thereafter. So I'm really honored to be asked to present that, and really looking forward to that. You guys will be able to follow that, of course, if you're a follower here and subscriber here, obviously. It will also be cast on their Steam channel. I'm planning to live stream it to my YouTube as well, and I believe that we're also going to be on the Play Mechabellum channel, which is the official channel of our developer Bearlike. Welcome to Weekend Tournament European. Welcome to Weekend Tournament European number 70, round 4, CrossFit versus Cast. This would be either the round of 16 or the quarterfinals, depending on how later matches go in this tournament. CrossFit, near side, is an aerial specialist with tarantulas and fangs. Far side, Cast, is a quick supply specialist with sledgehammer and crawler. Obviously, these two have played each other a whole bunch. They know each other very well. CrossFit, a recent tournament champion, I believe took 2 America's titles in relatively quick succession about 2 months ago, after coming short a couple of times. Caster, of course, but also has come out close a lot of times. I think Cast has won in the far distant past. I didn't actually get all the way back in time to take down all of the tournament winners. So CrossFit coming out aggro start, but using the Aerial Specialist for the free unlock on Phoenix. Normally the unlock costs 50, but Aerial Specialist allows you to unlock air units for free, in addition to giving them the 13% bonus. So round 1 unlock of Phoenix, he knows there's no air units on the board for cast. Cast is cagey to that play, unlocks Phoenix for 50 and buys them using his bonus 200 supplies in the first round. Also, we've got the headbutt. Cast starting out with an aggro positioning. I love this for shotgunning his crawlers through his sledges, and then he would have room on the front line for his crawlers later. So, of course, in making this play, the thing that CrossFit gave up is a deploy. A deploy would cost you 50 off of your tower. Right side to tower, not left side to tower. No, left side tower, not right side tower. Clicked on CrossFit's... I clicked on Cast's left side to tower. Somebody get this caster more coffee. Right. There we go. CrossFit wins round 1. We do know the Tarantula is very strong into the sledge opening packs. So round goes to CrossFit. Cast down to 3322. CrossFit takes the haste module, so does Cast. Both players have that now. Of course, you can use that when you've left a big opening like this. You can put a haste module in something that you're using to cover this corner and get it back into the fight quicker. Both of them have that huge exposed gap, which is what I would want. Oh, they actually do, Llama Prob. They do actually have. This is the command center, and this one is the research center. They do actually have it. Of course, the rest of us call them left and right, but, you know. Command, research. CrossFit is going to go ahead and use uses the aerial specialist powers to pick up the Wraith for 300, and haste module. Oh, something catchier than that. Yes, perfect. Mr. Kriger's got you. Port and starboard. For those that are not nautically inclined, port has 4 letters, left has 4 letters, port is the left side, starboard is the right side. Amaroq teaching you all the things you really needed to know today. We'll name them Mechabellum. You can kind of think of command as temporary things and research as permanent things, honestly. So, for cast, he added the crawlers attacking this exposed corner tower, research center, and a second Phoenix. This Phoenix together take down the Wraith, especially under the tower debuff, and with the tower debuff, the whole front collapses for CrossFit. So cast certainly looks like he's stabilized, but he's still at I think, a disadvantage on this side without the tower debuff. CrossFit just has to do something to address it. We have an amp core available, along with efficient text research. Of course, CrossFit ignores me and goes for the absorption module. Fine. Be that way, sir. There's also the deployment module, which could be used to pull something out to this front if that's what you needed to do. CrossFit sells out of one of the tarantulas, so we're not getting a Steel Sane-esque carry tarantula build. Instead, he's picking up a second Wraith. You are answering this, right, sir? No, we are going to answer this by leveling up the research center, the Perma Tower. Levels it up to level 2. Of course, upgrading it from level 1 to level 2. A level 1 command center has 3,400. Level 1 tower of either sort has a 3,400. And the level 2 has 23,400. Leveling it up also has the advantage of reducing the time taken caused by the specific tower debuffed by 2 seconds. ran into a player on ladder last night who would have actually beaten me outright. Guaranteed, this guy had me covered. Except he thought that he was being clever by leveling up the tower I was not threatening to reduce the time debuff from the other tower, instead of just leveling up the tower that he was abandoning. And that cost him in the end, because he had a 5-second debuff, because he only had his exposed tower at level 3. And he was surprised to learn, but of course that is what the channel is all about, and kind of one of the things I love about the mecha community in general is a lot of players will do what I did with him after that, which is explain after the match where your strategy had gone wrong and why, and demonstrate, because he came and joined stream, right? So we went and demonstrated on the training grounds exactly how it worked for him, and that will make him a better player. And next time out, he's quite likely to beat me head to head. Here, Cast wins round 3, drops Crossfit to 32-16. Cast on 33-22. And the key there, Cast continuing to play the Triple Threat Tricksters game, dropped a flank crawler back here that wasn't answered, despite Crossfit leveling the far side tower. Research Center. Crossfit takes a pair of Sabertooth, which are going to be very strong against the sledges. Cast has brought in a third sledge, and Crossfit takes another new Wraith, and gives all 3 Wraiths a range. This one has the absorption module. Answering this flank with a missile, while Cast actually took that deployment item. If you remember me talking about it, actually moved this flank attacking crawler down into that corner. Cast, still taking his time thinking about it, has the choice of 2 rhinos, a level 2 melter, 2 level 2 sabers, or 4 level 2 arc lights. Yeah, if we're seeing, of course, we know that Crossfit had already taken range. Cast had not yet seen the range and hadn't seen the sabers. Cast takes the rhinos and puts a haste module on one of them to try and get this tower down quickly. Of course, the two rhinos will do combined 13,000 DPS thereabouts. The haste module makes it even better than that. 15,000 DPS. This thing only has 23,000 hit points, so about 2 seconds after they reach it, it will blow up. Maybe 1 second after they reach it. There you go. But yeah, a melting point would have been pretty much perfect. On the other hand, he's feeling like he's had the Wraiths covered with the level 2 Phoenix. The Rhinos came back to get involved in the front line, punched a Sabertooth, and now they're going for a tower. They were slowed by a missile, but even so, Cast is still able to get both towers, score maximum triple threat Tricksters point. Wait, different tournament. Sorry, guys. My bad. And Crossfit is down to 2,200 hit points. Cast has additional deployment available. Crossfit did not opt for it. Yeah, Cast does run the Charge Shot Quantum Reassembly, where Crossfit is running Range, Charge Shot, Shield, and Energy, EMP. So, of course, EMP will turn off your ability to Quantum Reassemble, should it come down to that. Crossfit takes the Floating Artillery Array, so we're into full carry Wraith right now, but he hasn't gotten any levels into any of them. Gonna turn it around. Really needs a level. Like, honestly, this bit of play from Cast has been game-changing in terms of preventing these from leveling. The way that he's consistently hit towers from flank, from corner, it's really done a lot to cost Crossfit the levels. And there's a bunch of builds in the game, right, that rely on levels into that carry unit early. It feels like Crossfit is trying to force it by taking the second tech on these when they don't have any levels yet. On the other hand, maybe he's looking at it as like, FFS, I need floating artillery array to get these things their levels. So, could certainly empathize with that if that's what's going on. We've all been there. Of course, the other thing that might be about is getting through all of this chaff to get those sabers engaged with the sledges. And, oh, by the way, with that big thing in the back. It does take out 1 pack of sledges, 2 packs of sledges, 3 packs of sledges before the first of the towers goes down, the first of the sledgehammers, or sorry, not sledges, the first of the saber teeth has gone down. And cast, out of upshoot, this round goes to Crossfit with a Phoenix and a Sabertooth remaining. Cast loses 300 hit points down to 30-22, and we have round 6. 2 of those wraiths have leveled, and we have a unit reinforcement drop as well. Pair of level 3 storms are not the pick for Crossfit. Crossfit takes the worm, so it looks like it is potentially a worm wasp, or worm wraith wasp. We'll see. Cast obviously has the option of 2 Vulcan, or a level 2 Vulcan, 2 Overlords, 2 level 3 storms, or the Sandworm himself. Level 2 Rhino beats a level 1 Sandworm. That thing was pretty beastly. Level 2. And Cast is going to sell that Rhino, took the 2 Overlords, a whole bunch of money he could tech them with. It'll be double shot on the Fortress. And for Crossfit, it's Tarantula, Fang, and Crawler. Are you finally throwing down a defense on this side? Cast, of course, using the clever deployment module to jump around on the flank and distract from different locations strategy. And has a haste module on the outside Overlord, so it completes this turn faster. They should be about even with each other by the time they're here. Cast has leveled the Research Center up to level 3, a permanent tower, if you will. Also went with a flank Tarantula. The flank Tarantula has been denied. And the 2 Overlords get to tower again. Cast just pressing and pressing and pressing that far side tower. Of course, the debuff is down to 5 seconds. So with his units fighting at full strength again, now they are not fighting at full strength again. Basically, the haste module and Overlord took their time. Came around the corner, got the second tower, but Crossfit does push through, gets Cast's Research Center, and during the debuff drops Cast down to 1850 hit points. Round 7, you have Laser Sight, Amp Core, Heavy Armor, or a second Mobile Beacon if you'd like. I always find this one so strategic and so powerful, but these are 3 really good items. So. Heavy Armor for Crossfit, Laser Sight, Amp Core, and extra Mobile Beacon available. Crossfit with a Distraction Mobile Beacon over here. That's interesting since these guys got Mobile Beacon last time. Crossfit takes armor on the Wraiths. Of course, that gives them plus 50% hit points in addition to the 60 damage blocked. This item is giving them plus 80, so this guy's on plus 130 hit points. 130% hit points. Puts him at 238,000 hit points total. His partner over here is just a baby with only 80,000 hit points. Yeah, those forts really do need to double shot, don't they? There is an interesting mobile beacon from Cast, bringing his overlords that had been going straight after that tower, bringing them into the main fight where they can get engaged with that big sandworm. And they do stand in front of the wraiths as well. But that worm will not die. It just tanks everything. Tanked the entirety of Cast's army, including all the overlords. And thump. Pops up from the ground to do 110 extra damage, or 400 extra damage. He does not have quick reload available. He's already put down double shot, so he can't make those forts any better. Of course, Ion Blast is going to arrive too late. The worm will be underground, but not for Crossfit. Crossfit can drop it right across all three forts, and it's going to cost 900 to put barrier up on those forts, if that's the direction that Cast wants to go to protect them. And yeah, the Wraiths have leveled again, level 3 for this one. This guy leveled to 2. This one is really close, but didn't level. Cast has a pretty solid ion beam, and of course is paying attention to where units stopped to fight from, like where did the Wraith fight from. Also puts down oil to stop as many advancing units as possible in that path of the ion beam. Of course, the oil won't work against the sandworms, they'll be underneath it, but it should be effective against a bunch of other things. Still, I think the ion beam for Crossfit looks like a knockout blow, except that Cast has 1,000 left to get himself out of it. Took enhanced range, high mobility off of the Temp Tower. Puts up 1 shield, so he's not going for the Fortress Barrier strat. Takes Chin Gun, so 3 Overlord Artillery Overlords out here. With, I think it's a missile to clear the way, and a crawler on the ground over here to try and pull any other chaff. That ion beam is going to be deadly, though. Kept 1 fort alive with the shield. That fort's in trouble. Tower debuff arrives for Crossfit's forces, but that big tanky worm is on a mobile beacon to the tower. There's nothing in the way anymore. Tower is completely exposed. And well, once we're back underway, that worm does not shoot air targets, and we've got a 9-second debuff for Crossfit. But his wraiths are, well, healing now. And they have healed their way all the way out to the end of the game. Crossfit victorious. Roar. Cast defeated, put up a great fight, put a lot of early tempo pressure on before the Wraiths came online, but it was not to be. Once the Wraiths were triple-teched and multiple levels, they became pretty unstoppable, especially behind a 240,000 hit point sandworm. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? Right? How are you stopping that? There's nothing on this board that is designed to deal 240,000 hit points. These 3 together, with their chin guns, did like 210 on that last round. So, rough go for Cast. Our Amp Core Fort never did get up to level 2. Even so was the silver damage dealer this round. Yeah, we kind of needed something. Other thing I would say is we never ran Acid, and that is because Cast is not yet running Acid on crawlers. So it's one of the changes that I've made specifically for dealing with out-of-control worms, is to have acid available on crawlers. Not here. Here is my my build. It's the 4th tech. It's really only ever going to come out for that. I have a giant on the line that I need to stop, and it's out of control, like a level 2 war factory or a whole bunch of out of control worms. But that would be the unit to drop there. That would be the way to drop that one. Cass didn't have that answer in the quiver, and that'll be win for CrossFit. Blue Hair beats Hawk in Space. Play Archer beats Schizo Family TV. Iron Commander beats Stony. Roosters 4-0 after beating Flicks. And High Cross Usagi beats Renate. So we're down to 6 unbeaten. And you're going to get, I believe, CrossFit against Rooster, High Cross Usagi against Blue Hair, Play Archer against Iron Commander. We're going to take Play Archer and Iron Commander. I'm going to trust that Blue Hair wins that match. Did want to take a moment to throw up our thank you screen. Big thank you to our mods, Zach, Zalex, Codafly, Alpha Titan, Wolf Factory, Decaf, Ocelotus Gaming, and Ghosters Supreme. Really appreciate all the work that you guys do to keep us on the air. And of course, the VIP sponsors, without whom we wouldn't be here. Salt Monkey is Zach, Mr. John Thursday, Blue Feral, Ocelotus Gaming, Just Nash XYZ, XFireX, and Toast94. Welcome to round 5 of Weekend Tournament European number 70. There is no Steel Saint. Play Archer has made it to what would be either the quarterfinals or the semifinals, depending on the outcome of a match during round 6, and is seeking his first title. Cost Control Specialist. For Play Archer, he's got Fang and Stormcaller. Play Archer's story, of course, a whole bunch of heartbreak. He has come so close so many times. On the far side, Iron Commander is streaming live on Bilibili. If you are, behind the China great firewall of internet. It's going to be a giant specialist with Sledgehammer and Fang. Puts Fangs in... Oh, I don't see that formation often. Puts them in a deep double line behind tower. So he's going to... We've talked about the importance a lot of having late arriving chaff, and in fact both of them have gone for some very late arriving chaff. Super deep. And part of this is he doesn't want to run them out in front of the Stormcallers during the first round. We would have... Obviously, these guys would be walking into fire at some point, but even if there were fire out here, right, that's as far as it would go. These guys would still be walking in really, really slowly. So if you had deep units behind them, they would still be serving their chaff purpose, even if there was fire on the ground here eating them. They would still be the ones getting targeted. And Play Archer also has the Fangs arriving fairly late to tank for the Stormcallers here. Iron Commander, it looks like he's going to get it done for this round. Oh, or not. I spoke too soon. Curse of the Commentator. Storm Opener Stronk. But Sledgehammer wins on the left side. Sledgehammer wins on the right side. Sledgehammer strong! Iron Commander win! Play Archer loses 80 hit points, so he's at 4620 and Iron Commander's at 4600. I don't think that was the decisive round of this match. Play Archer has the Fire Badger, level 2. Iron Commander considering Arclight, Wraith, Wasp, and Fire Badger. Level 2 Wasp. Nope, takes the level 1 Wraith. For Play Archer, it's the Fire Badger flank. Puts it on what would be Iron Commander's weak side rather than strong side. The strong side could have pulled all 3 of these packs to go burn on the flames, but as it turns out, he's going to put it on the other side. Iron Commander takes the Wraith in a bit of a flank screening position, so it will come back and flank screen crawlers. For Play Archer, he's picked up a pair of Phoenix. I mean, he is cost control. He can afford this sort of thing. 50 for that, 50 to unlock the Phoenix, 400 to buy the Phoenix. Cost control slight buff recently. It's now only decreases ATK and hit points by 11% instead of 13%. Slight buff. This time, with the pull, the Phoenix, and the Storms, Play Archer wins, Iron Commander down to 3,800. Iron Commander, a round 3 fort with anti-air barrage. So wasting no time addressing the Phoenix, instantly sold out of one of the sledges, and took the redeployment item to move this Wraith further back to protect the corner, and right out in front of that, Play Archer uses the redeployment himself to pull the Fire Badger off the flank, and picks up a Vulcan. So we have Vulcan v Fort, and Fire Badgers over there as well to handle this late arriving crawler pack. Vulcan doesn't have Scorch yet, so it's going to take it a long time to burn its way through a fort. And on the other side, that long chain of long chain of fangs has taken care of the Phoenix. Iron Commander wins the round, drops Play Archer to 3906. It's the two of them separated by about 100 points right now. We go to round 4, no unit drop possible. Laser sights for both players, almost an instant pick. There was an underground threat available, but they both seem to have that pretty well covered. And in what's shaping up to be a range war, in fact, it might even be shaping up to be Phoenix Vulcan, although Play Archer, did you relocate or did you sell? You sold the Phoenix. So Play Archer sells out of the one Phoenix rather than committing to it into the face of anti-air barrage. Meanwhile, Iron Commander has a second Wraith on the weak side and adds a fort on the weak side. Play Archer added a Vulcan and took oil to light that oil on fire, take care of this long line of fangs, even if the Vulcan should happen to fall. Both players holding on to the laser sights. I suspect we're going to see a laser sight melter from both at some point in the near future. Play Archer needs some good single target damage. For both the forts and the Wraiths. Iron Commander, of course, knows that, and if you were going to wind up in a melter battle, both players took the laser sight to ensure that they don't lose the range war there. This round, however, has gone very different, with the Flames allowing the right side to break even. On the left, though, Iron Commander's Wraith is supreme after Play Archer wins on the ground. So 300 damage, Play Archer down to 3,600. 2 level 4 Arclights, 1 level 3 Farseer. The new unit, so good, so good. Somebody asked a little bit earlier if the total damage dealt was too high, the total DPS from it. I do like the DPS of it, which is, it is high, but again, the unit costs 300, it's rare. I feel like it should be high. It's not something you want for to have it as a weakling that nobody takes, and of course as the newest unit. Iron Commander is skipped photon, has the loadout that includes missile interceptor, search radar, range enhancement, and electromagnetic. If you didn't know, this is the first rare unit that allows you to change all the techs. It only has 5 techs available, but you get to pick your favorite 4 out of them, and that's great to see. He's taken the range and given it laser sight immediately, so it's out at 185 meter range. The laser sight melter will be at 175. And for Iron Commander, this near side fort is up to level 2. On the other hand, a pair of melters and a pair of scorpions. The scorpions, I think, were the drop for Play Archer. Melters taking care of the wraiths. That's a lot of chaff clear taken off the board. And there is still chaff arriving, especially that latest of fangs. Unfortunately, they're walking into some fire. Not much, just a little. Ouch. It's fine. It's just a flesh wound. But the Melter's getting the job done against everything except that level 3 Farseer with the item. It's going to sit out here at 1.5 miles away and dish damage right up until it's in under the Stormcallers. That's a good point, Ghosters. It's labeled as a support unit, which is, you know, the things that it's really good at are buffing, shutting down things with EMP, and that really fast, you know, its fast rate of fire, it's really effective anti-missile device. So it should be a bit tankier rather than being a damage dealer. I think I agree with you. It also has the biggest splash range that is able to put EMP down. So 8 meter splash is the biggest that you're able to pick up. The Stormcaller with HE, I believe, has a wider splash range, but it takes you 2 techs to get there. It's a support and murder unit, exactly. Yeah, actually, the missiles targeting 2 different units like the Wraith would have been interesting for it as an ability. I think that's the kind of tech I'd like to see in place of Scorching Flames also for the Vulcan. Something that lets you target with both arms, target individually, but does less damage for each unit. Like it would have more overall range AoE, but doing less damage to each of the AoEs. Yep, 3 shields is about halfway into buying Fort Shield. So, and they are temporary. They won't come back if they go down. And there is still plenty of fire on the ground. Iron Commander sold out of one of the Wraiths. The other one has gone down already. Into a 4 Farseer line. So just committing to the Farseer at this point. And has those shields about right for where they were going to fight from. But you see all 3 of them went down, so he's out 300 for that. And might not even win the round with that investment. Or, you know, just might be tanking everything with the ranged EMP Farseer. Ranged EMP Farseer cleans up. Well done. Yes, you are very pretty. Nicely done. Good work. 3,300. We get rapid cooling for both players. They have both got a bunch of cooldowns available. Rapid cooling will bring the sticky oil bomb back for Play Archer this round rather than next round. They're both at 3,300 hit points, there or thereabouts, as we go into round 7. Another melter for Play Archer, so he's clearly well into Exodia with the melter and Vulcan. And we will find out if Exodia works against all the EMP Farseers. Of course, this big guy is up to level 4. He's the gold damage dealer, having done 144,000 damage last round. 285,000 total for the fight. He's going to get stuck in some oil for a moment, then the oil's going to get lit on fire. Play Archer sold out of one of the scorpions. And bought into, I actually like this purchase a lot, bought into this late arriving Fang. For Iron Commander, it's triple tech on the Farseer now. It goes for Missile Interceptor. That makes a lot of sense with the storms, and even though he doesn't know it's coming, he kind of knows that EMP, Electromagnetic Barrage, is coming. So we're going to try to keep the EMP from landing with those. It is an effective anti-missile. You can see how strong that is. Here comes the EMP, and overwhelmed by the EMP barrage and the Stormcallers at the same time, lets the ground get lit on fire. At least one of the melters has been turned off and walked into the kill range. Yep, that is what happens on the other side, but even at point blank, this melter, with the laser sight, level 3, able to get it done for Play Archer. That drops Iron Commander halfway down to 1528. Half his health done in a single round. Both players take the Orbital Javelin as we go into round 8. Play Archer is just going to use it to take out 2 of the Farseers in the middle of the board. Obviously, he knows he can't kill the level 2 fort or the level 4... Oh, he could have killed the level 4 Farseer, but he's not trying to because the redeployment exists. So, that fair enough. Iron Commander has been trying to get this done without Stormcallers, now feels the need to add them. Play Archer adds a extra melter on the far left. Still has a deploy, but he's going to go to the round with 0 available. Going for crawler production. So get something small out on the ground, get some chaff out later to allow the Farseers to target the wrong thing and hopefully keep the melters from being EMP'd, please. That Javelin's going to be pretty solid. It gets a Vulcan and a Stormcaller. I don't think it gets all the way to this melter, and even if it did, the melter would live. Does, however, delete the chaff clear on this side of the board. There really is no other chaff clear for Play Archer, so that's a very strong Javelin. Actually, I guess there is in the form of the fire, but he's also deleted the fire dropper on that side, Stormcaller. You can see just what a difference that's made in terms of forcing everybody to lock onto little things until very late in the round, where even now the melters are still stuck on Fangs, as the Farseers over there delete them from long range. Tower debuff at really good timing with that last volley. And Farseer is... both of them are down. We're down to Storms versus Melter. Storms barely win it for Iron Commander. And Play Archer's down to 3,000 hit points. Iron Commander's still at half of that, at 1528. We hit round 9. Smoke Bomb for Play Archer. Of course, both these players have the skill specialists, so they're going to be playing a spell after spell after spell game. Which, again, wouldn't that make Barrier even more valuable for this player? Interesting. Play Archer going for the War Factory with Missile Interceptor. We saw on Ladder last night how strong the War Factory is with the buffs that it's gotten. And I was having a lot of success with War Factory. Also, you know, if it's going to go much longer, and it might, efficient maintenance could actually have been useful, but, you know, round 9 is pretty late for that. For Wow. For Iron Commander, he's going to abandon this side completely. Sold out of... sorry. Teleported the Wraith to the other side. Just drops oil and 2 smokes. And I'm going to leave your whole group stuck in this smoke. You can't protect it. I can smoke both sides of the map. He could even, if he'd really wanted to, he could even mobile beacon this level 2 fort across the board. Yes, he's created the no man's land, and he has the shields up to block the smoke of his own. Llama Prob, he didn't take reduce upkeep because it's round 9. He knows that there are at most 4 rounds in the game, so reduce upkeep for this one War Factory would save at most, right, round 9, 10, 11, 12. So it would save at most 600. It would have cost him 200 already on the Missile Interceptor. So he's counting on either finishing it early or buying enough techs that it's not worth it for a single War Factory. Now, if he bought into 3 or 4 of them, it might be worth it at that point. But he did not. It's not even going to survive to do the 600 hit points damage either. It did plenty of work at keeping missiles off for a while, but now that those missiles are landing and EMPing, this poor melter is stuck in the no man's land and EMP'd and deleted. Iron Commander making great use of the smoke. Drops Play Archer down to 606 hit points. The Archer's made it to the final 6. He's made it to the final 4 or final 3 so many times. Had multiple tournaments where he was knocked out by Steel Sane at the semifinals. The 2 of them both from the 401. Big rivals. Steel Sane now going to sleep earlier and getting up in time for the Americas. And Play Archer stays up for the European just so they have a not running into each other. That's not the way they explained it, but you know. We both stream. We both represent Russia. We're both trying to win tournaments. Let's not trip over each other, shall we? Let's not compete with each other. I can at least see the logic. Play Archer again skips the efficient maintenance, goes for range enhancement. So he's got 2 War Factories out. And again, if we'd taken the efficient maintenance, it would have cost us, would have saved us 150 this round, but would have cost us 400 for these other 2 techs. So we'd be down 250 right now. So even if he would save 300 off of these 2, by the start of next round, he'd only be at saved 50. And that's assuming he doesn't get the knockout or get knocked out this round. This round, he's up ahead. Has taken lone and temp range, not mobile beaconing to go around the smoke. His oil is blocked back here. Iron Commander adding 3 packs of shield wasps. Of course, the War Factory doesn't shoot the wasps, and these melters don't have the multi-beam yet. So those wasps are pretty much countered only by the super late fangs. And if the super late fangs are stopped fighting the wasps, they won't be out in front protecting the War Factories. War Factories do hang out back here in the shields, where they are able to perform their anti-missile roll, because they're not getting EMP'd by the Farseer. That was what happened to this guy that last round. He got EMP'd, and once the EMP happened, he wasn't able to anti-missile any longer. This time it works a lot longer, and in fact, they still haven't landed an EMP on either of them. This ranged guy has deleted all of the Farseers on that side. Now it's working from right to left for Play Archer, and he will be in the final 3 of this tournament. Knocks out Iron Commander. GG. Phew, that was hard work. I mean, heck, it was hard work as a caster. Gosh, can't imagine it being either of these players. That was great. Really good fight, both of you. Well played. GG's. Pivot to the War Factory for the finish. And Iron Commander just didn't have the DPS on the board to handle something like the War Factory. Wasn't prepared to pivot. We had seen way earlier. Wasn't prepared to pivot with the with acid on the bar, and Doesn't actually have, didn't have the scorpions. Play Archer had already taken the scorpion drop. He doesn't have doesn't have Phoenix on the board, so there's no great, I mean, heck, even Play Archer's way ahead in the melters, so there's no awesome single damage dealer other than this massive level 5 Farseer. That level 5 Farseer, by the way, did 610,000 damage to become gold damage dealer. Well done, sir. Nicely done you. I'm going to remember Farseer, level 3 Farseer with laser sight and range. Pretty darn beefy. So great effort in a losing effort by Iron Commander. On the other side of the bracket, Blue Hair did beat High Cross Usagi, and CrossFit beats Rooster. Rooster said this latest patch has not really suited him particularly. It hasn't been... It just, certain balance breaks don't suit certain players, for sure. We're down to 3 unbeatens. Those 3 are CrossFit, Play Archer, and Blue Hair. And High Cross Usagi will be in the spoiler role facing CrossFit. And so that is that match for you. We, of course, our tradition is to follow the match that could be the championship, because if High Cross Usagi beats CrossFit, then round 6 will be the final match of the tournament. If CrossFit wins their match against High Cross Usagi, then there will be a 7th and decisive round. So we will jump into Blue Hair versus Play Archer. I'm going to write up. Blue Hair is anything but the standard 201 player. Shows up to tournaments with a unique strats, runs those strats to perfection. Came up with the I will run a healing wraith in front of a wasp push to tank the anti-air barrage off of fort. So welcome to round 6 and possibly the final, possibly the semifinal of Weekend Tournament Europe number 70. Blue Hair near side, cost control specialist with Mustang and Marksman start. And with Mustangs on the board, probably glad not to see a sledge start or a tarantula start from Play Archer. Play Archer's the Rhino specialist, which is crawler and storms, and sets up deep outside of towers in case there's some kind of aggro push. So Blue Hair is running assault mode on his marksman, starts off with his marksman up on the front line. We've seen him start with aggro fronts like this and then transition into he was running a couple of tournaments ago and one tournament with a Fort Badger Phoenix build, or I'm sorry, a Fang Badger Phoenix build right up on the line, where the ranged napalm badgers drop fire on the ground, toast all of your chaff, and wait, what? Blue Hair, what are you doing? Blue Hair has sold one of the 2 Mustangs using the cost control monies, so unlocks sell to get down to 200, sells a Mustang to get up to 400, and is here with a round 1 Wraith, attacking from outside. That gets right in on the Stormcallers. Of course, Stormcallers are not very good at shooting air. They don't shoot it at all. Let the man cook. I mean, it's Blue Hair. This is why we watch Blue Hair. The man cooks. And then does it so well that he's consistently in the top. I mean, he's been a 2000 MMR player for longer than I've been playing the game. Literally. The guy is amazing. So, Blue Hair, yes, nice work there. Love the tight end shots. And they actually show you very much, you guys should know all those units are fully rendered in 3D. It's not just it's not just skin on it, it's gorgeous. So the game really pushing your polygon counts. That is why, if you've ever wondered why can't I scroll any further up, it's just a, like to see the next map over. It's just a, don't want to overstress everything. I'd love to be able to. I'm willing to stress things. But I can see why not. You can see why the devs have put a limit on it, put a cap on it. All right. Blue Hair gives the Wraith a little crawler screen, and Play Archer is going to try to answer with Marksman on that side, a pair of level 1 Marksman to answer. And for blue hair, it's sold the second pack of Mustangs to achieve the same effect on the left side with a crawler and a second wraith. So he's got both sides have the wraith push. And if we've seen anything from wraith push, this is a setup for a wasp behind. Play Archer's not just going to sit here and let you abandon your front, and blue hair is down 2 deploys right now, so brings out a crawler on the flank to go try and get things done. Blue hair has also taken assault mode on the marksman, as we kind of pointed out. He had them on the bar, and is going to win the far left where there were no marksmen, or Play Archer. I mean, it looked like he was going to win the far left, then the tower got debuffed. And that's going to sting. Wraith will be stuck on this tower, I believe, while the crawlers are bringing down his. It actually gets the tower down just in time. And handles one marksman, but not the other, and loses round. So blue hair started with 5,200 hit points, will be on 4,720. Play Archer's at 4,000. We go to round 3. Blue hair has a flank to answer. Down in that bottom right corner just off screen, you can see sort of the toes of some crawlers there. And he's got the assault mode marksman, so assault mode marksman behind towers to cover both flanks. That'll handle a crawler pack for sure. Is both of his deploys. Leaves him with 350 to spend, which could be something like range on your wraith, or, you know, one more crawler somewhere. That crawler's going to be in a flank attack position. Play Archer had a crawler on the back left, didn't have one on the back right. Does put one there. He's not going to leave that empty. Also went with a pair of marksmen on the left side and missiling out both front packs of crawler. And a wasp flank. Not wasp flank, wasp call-in even. Yeah, blue hair borrowed. It's true. Does cover both of those attacks, so saves his towers, and with the tower save and the level, that's what he borrowed for, was the level on the laser sight wraith over here. That does buy him the tower debuff. You can see this wraith would have died if it was still level 1. So, see why I described... Yeah, literally from his playstyle, I think you can see why I described blue hair as the Sacco of the 201, if you will. Able to play this sort of super creative, super aggro game from wherever he wants on the board and adapt to whatever scenario, and just reads the game at such an amazing level. Blue hair takes a pair of level 2 steel balls. Play Archer takes the level 3 Farseer, perhaps remembering how strong that thing was for Iron Commander in the last match. Play Archer, a Rhino Specialist, also has his Rhino arriving. So it'll be Rhino, level 3 Farseer, and level 2 Marksman, all on the same side over here. For blue hair, it's level 2 Steel Balls, and he's creating a right-sided Steel Ball Wraith push with these Assault Mode Marksmen for chaff clear, essentially, kind of in the sort of the role that your Mustangs might otherwise have been in. The assault mode does give the marksman 3 extra movement speed as well as all those extra hit points, so they will do a much better job of keeping up with the steel balls and the wraith than they would otherwise. Play Archer went immediately to the EMP on the Farseers. EMP on the Farseer will turn off the wraith techs because Farseer can shoot both air and ground. And blue hair's buy here is Lone again on round 4 to pick up one more steel ball. He's got steel ball, wraith, and crawler coming on the right side, along with this level 2 steel ball that's just straight up on the Rhino. Does have enough steel balls out in front to tank all the way to that back corner. Gets the tower, does not have a steel ball left to take out the Farseer with. Right now, the only thing working on is level 1 unteched Wraith. Now it's a level 2 unteched Wraith. That thing saved Play Archer this round. Drops Blue Hair down to 35-46. Blue Hair in the lone cycle has taken 2 in a row now. Play Archer takes an improved firepower control. Blue Hair does as well. Improved firepower going on the left-sided Wraith, which gets a level. Does it get friends? Apparently it does not have friends. We're going to sell something. We sold the middle assault mode marksman. There's really no targets for it, and the EMP was turning it off. So it replaces that with a crawler, buys a steel ball for the left side, has loan number 3. So far we have sold 2 Mustangs and loaned 3 times, but he brings out loose formation crawler. Has also sold 3. It was Mustang, and Marksman. Well, thank you, Mr. Prepper. Much appreciated. I do try to cast it like, as Bear described earlier, like an old-school radio presenter. I grew up listening to baseball on radio here in the States, and had the pleasure of listening to several of the all-time greats of radio broadcasting in the city that I lived in, and I've moved from one to another, so I've listened to a couple of different Hall of Famers, including the great John Miller. So, I really try to model my style after them in a lot of ways. I've learned a lot of what I do here from those guys. Part of that is trying not to repeat the same stories, and of course a big part of what I'm trying to do is explain the game for a relatively new player, because you may have heard what I'm saying 12 times, but the other guy might be hearing it for the first time. So, I actually do still feel like I get a lot out of listening, for example, listening to the Rats Rules video, even though, you know, it's only 10 rules. They should be pretty short and simple, but you get a lot out of it every time you listen to it, because your understanding of the game is evolving, right? At 700 or 800 MMR, you're still learning all of the counters, all the unit counters, how to counter certain builds. By, you know, the 1300s or so, you're really starting to figure out positioning, how important positioning is, and by the 17s, you're looking at all the different crazy things you can do with a mobile beacon to control your enemy's aggro and move your enemy's units where you want them so that the right unit is engaged with them at the right times. And, you know, all of these things are different levels to understanding the way the game goes. For Unit Reinforcement Pack, it's available for round 6. Both players took the level 2 Vulcan. For Play Archer, it's going to have Scorching Flames and defend that front. Of course, we're going to find out how good is a Vulcan against all these loose formation crawlers. It will light Play Archer's oil on fire, so that's going to cost a whole bunch of crawlers. Blue Hair, what are you cooking today, sir? Holy... Yes, that is a flank level 2 Vulcan. Blue Hair, Triple Threat Tricksters is a little bit later in the day if you want it. Look, I'll step off the team if you want into the Triple Threat Tricksters team. I mean, you seem like you'd be right at home. No? He's busy, apparently. Busy cooking in this game. Now, that is tanking a whole bunch of damage out here. He's basically using it as a 79,000 hit point meat shield out there, which is trying to let the Wraiths get through to tower. They do get through to tower, and once they're through, tower debuff lets them take down the Vulcan on that side. They aren't going to be able to handle the other side, though, but he has brought Play Archer down under lethal damage, I think. The question is just how do you get back out of this brutal financial situation that he's been in? He's down so many deploys and so many... Oh, it is lethal. Oh, I misread it. Play Archer gets the win in 6 rounds. Is Play Archer your new European champion? That will depend on High Cross Usagi. If High Cross Usagi can beat Crossfit in the alternate match here in round 6, then Play Archer will be your champion outright. There will be no 7th round. If not, there will be a 7th and deciding round between Play Archer and Crossfit. Blue Hair was cooking something amazing in this game, but I think the overall down 4 of his initial 5 deployments, +1 because he deployed that round 1 Wraith, so he was down 6 deployments there, took 3 loans. I mean, it's just, economically, it was supposed to be putting a whole lot of pressure on. Play Archer just with an excellent, solid defensive line. Really never gave up towers. It was pretty brutal. Icevond, it was 3 loans by round 5. He actually didn't loan on round 6. Yeah. Play Archer just winning the econ game in that one. And, you know, obviously played a really solid defensive game. On the other side of the bracket, Crossfit did, in fact, beat High Cross Usagi, so we will have our 7th and final match, Play Archer in the finals. Play Archer's route to the final wins over Asmodeus. Now, remember, Asmodeus had a big first-round upset in Asia. Wins over Asmodeus, TNT, J-Shoots, Schizo, this was Iron Commander, Blue Hair, to get to 6-0. Crossfit was in the top seed role, beat Refn, Fedez, Bobby Fischer, Cast, Rooster, and High Cross Usagi. High Cross Usagi came through the first round bye to get to the spoiler role in round 6. But both of them co-equal on 20 minor points, facing off in 90 seconds. Thank you. We'll put up channel point predictions, of course. Welcome to the final of Weekend Tournament European number 70, Crossfit versus Play Archer. Crossfit, a multiple-time former champion. Play Archer trying to take home the title for the first time in as long as I have been casting. He has come agonizingly close so many times. Crossfit, near side, Farseer Specialist, a Fang Tarantula start. Play Archer, far side Supply Specialist with the Stormcaller and Fang start. We saw Play Archer start with this formation against Iron Commander. He starts with it again here, and actually takes the same 2 crawlers that he took in that one as well. Does this a little bit differently than some of the 501 players. A lot of the 501 players will do horizontal crawler and then a vertical Fang. That's actually pretty common in the 201 as well. And Play Archer likes to do the horizontal Fang with the vertical crawler. So, slight difference there. For Crossfit, he's coming out with Tarantula Fang aggro. We saw him do this and then transition into a Wraith on match we got to cast with him versus Cast. We'll see if that's the same build as well. Tarantula's doing great work on the left, and there's not much left fighting them by the time Play Archer gets the tower debuff on the right side. Tower timing is going to be fine for him, though. He's got the storms back over here that are a long way away. In fact, wow, that one Tarantula had so little hit points that Fangs were able to kill it during the tower debuff. That is one to write home if you are a Fang. And, of course, our Blaze-skinned Stormcallers getting the win for Play Archer. Blaze skin's so appropriate for Stormcaller, isn't it? Crossfit skips. Play Archer also. Neither impressed with the units on offer there, or the reinforcement cards on offer, I should say. Crossfit goes for a flank Tarantula Crawler. Going to pull units out and really deny Play Archer the front defensive space. For Play Archer, he takes a Phoenix on that back corner, also takes oil. So throwing down the oil right now so that if there is this pull, he's able to slow it down, handle the flank, and then handle the main units. Really good timing on his part. You can see why both Play Archer and Steel Sane pride themselves on their defense. We saw just how well Play Archer plays defense against Blue Hair. All of the creative things Blue Hair was cooking. Again, Play Archer gets to tower on the right side. This time he's got a lot more left fighting, left engaged. And the only things left that shoot air are these fangs. They are going to have enough time, I think, to turn around and get these Phoenix. The question is, will the Tarantula prevent these storms from being heroes once again? Answer is no. We've got... Storms are going to win again. The channel point predictions went 52% for Play Archer, 48% for Crossfit. This one almost a coin flip in chat's opinion. We get the unit reinforcements, a level 3 Wasp, 3 level 1 Fire Badgers. If you were down in deploys, this pack would have been, it's so huge for you. And I almost wonder if that was the direction Blue Hair was hoping the build would go in that match against Play Archer. He didn't get this kind of pack at that point. Level 1 Sandworm and 3 level 2 Marksmen available. Crossfit did take the Fire Badgers. Puts them on the line and in flank screening position. And on the flank. Flank also gets a Crawler. Of course, those Crawlers can get missiled out, but they are a lot more effective in terms of speed from that side. Play Archer takes the level 3 Wasps, puts them, well, basically right over the flank, which has no anti-air. Also takes a Vulcan in order to line things, or light things on fire, since he's got the oil slowing this whole build down and he knows he's going to get pulled on the flank. Puts the defense in the hands of the Vulcan. For Crossfit, there's a flank crawler on the far side with these Fire Badgers and a new crawler rushing the tower from straight ahead. Kill Cannon, I actually agree with you. The marks, for me, for what Crossfit was doing, the marksman seemed like a perfect fit behind the Tarantulas, but I presume there's a thinking here. Those Fire Badgers do get the right side of tower. Hard to argue with success at the moment. And of course, these guys played defense on that flank. On the main front, the Tarantulas do handle the... do handle the Vulcans, as it turned out. And there was a... Crossfit, of course, was the Farseer specialist. I missed that Farseer was deployed over there on the far side. And the Farseer contributing to getting the tower down. And this other tower, but does fall before the... fell to the Phoenix, I think, because it got out in front of the rest of CrossFit's push. It's one of the values, or one of the problems with a... It's right here, in front of tower. It's one of the problems with establishing things at a different speed as part of your push. Sure, they're all working together as they pushed this first tower, but then this fellow, the Farseer, rushed ahead on the trip from right to left, got sniped off by the Phoenix. Play Archer takes super supply enhancement, so taking the 300 cost drop for rounds 4 and 5, and he'll be break even from round 6 and ahead from round 7 onward. So now CrossFit is on a timer, and of course Play Archer's in perfect health, right? And CrossFit doesn't have giants on the board, so it's Play Archer feeling pretty confident in taking that. CrossFit, it's the redeployment, which is super, super powerful for an aggro player. And he's going to use it to redeploy the Farseer from that right side over to the left, where it'll be targeting the Vulcan. Play Archer added a second Vulcan, gave the Vulcan Scorch, and goes triple Phoenix. So triple Phoenix plus the Farseer, they all move at 16 meters per second. And they've got the crawlers and the potential of adding spider mines in front. So there's a lot better coordinated attack over here on the left. That's going to just delete this Vulcan really quickly. Scorcher, no. And now they're in working on Stormcallers and Tower. Get the Tower debuff. That Tower debuff, if you now had a Farseer working on this Vulcan, it would be perfect. But kind of replicating this front on the other side. If you got this tower, you'd have all of that working on the Tower debuff. Meanwhile, there are so many Fangs surviving. Look at how much of CrossFit's chaff survived over there. All of those Fangs handling the Wasps and allowing the Phoenix to just do their work. Now we're going to sit out here at range, delete the rest of the Fangs, and the Phoenix can safely shoot the Vulcan from the air. Heck, even the Tarantula got to contribute. Didn't get a whole lot of contribution damage, but did get some. So CrossFit wins round 5. Play Archer dropped to 29.82. Again, Play Archer is behind economically for this round and the previous, so we would expect CrossFit to win on the board. Play Archer breaks even on that Super Supply Specialist next round, and from there on should have an economic advantage. CrossFit takes the Wraith. We saw him take Wraith previously. He loved that one for the... as part of this push, yep, exactly, against Cast. There it is. We see it. And Play Archer took the level 2 Melter, puts it on the Vulcan side. We saw him run Exodia previously. That was in the round 5 match. Now he's in it again with Vulcan and Melting Point. Melting Point doesn't have any tower, but yeah, Play Archer now has the cash to fund the Vulcan Melter spam. Also picks up a Phoenix for a Phoenix flank, just to ensure he doesn't get horribly tempoed out here. He knows he's coming good economically shortly. He can afford to throw away the 200 on the Phoenix, even if he winds up selling that Phoenix next round. Doesn't see it getting covered. For CrossFit, the adds, of course, were the Wraith, which gets field maintenance, so unfortunate for him, it's going to be running into the Melter. Picked up a Fire... Wait, nope, the Fire Badger was already here. What else have we picked up? It's Crawler there, Crawler on the back left, I think. So, 2 later arriving Chaff, and if they can get out in front and protect that Wraith for a little while, you can see those early crawlers, the early mid crawlers have arrived. These are the late mid crawlers, and these are the late crawlers. So the late mid crawlers doing their jobs tanking. So that crawler ad turned out to be perfect. Just brilliant for CrossFit. That crawler is the one that he just added here, doing all the damage, sorry, right here, doing all the work to tank Melter. Just a perfect ad for placement and timing. Chaff matters, guys. Tasty Baits suggests that Archer guessed Wraith pickup with the Melter. It's possible, yeah. That's kind of what I'd be looking at. Haste Module for Play Archer. CrossFit, of course, ran Haste Module on the Wraith when he had it in this position previously. I'm not sure he does that for this Wraith. I think if he does it, it'll be for a Wraith on the very outside edge. Instead, it'll be ranged fire badgers. Player Archer dropping oil on top of all of this, so it's going to be stuck slowed and then lit on fire. That's going to change the order of engagement with this crawler no longer being able to tank perfectly. He brings out a second melter, and CrossFit doesn't even bother with handling this guy. He still has 2 deploys. But, hasn't done much to handle that. Instead, this was the redeploy of the Fire Badger from the back corner, not a new deployment. Play Archer drops a melter on the opposite side. CrossFit picks up 2 more Phoenix. Gotta figure that's gonna be back here playing defense. Nope. Yeah, there's a missile. Missile to cover the possibility of a crawler or something protecting the Phoenix. I think the Phoenix was right on the line, so as far as he knows, this will tank it completely. Take it out completely. This Phoenix is over here just for, in case he ran shield or something clever. He does have shield on it, so it would have at least given him a chance, a fighting chance there. 3 melters, 1 of them gets the lock, 2 of them have the lock. The big healing wraith is down. And yeah, you can see just how important that chaff timing was for CrossFit here. And now, this was the round that Play Archer broke even economically. He paid a 2,300 hit point price for it, but on the round he broke even. He came back to beating CrossFit, which is where he'd been before he paid that. Drops CrossFit to 1740, Play Archer at 1780. Now he's in a commanding position here. Yeah, I think CrossFit missed the window exactly. Range for the melters, barrier for the melter, haste module on this Vulcan. CrossFit does have the electromagnetic blast to try and bring down shields or techs if there's a key spot he can hit. And you can see he's taken plenty of time thinking about it. Picks up a pair of overlords with the knowing that this electromagnetic shot was out there. You might be thinking about photon from them to protect against it. For Play Archer, you've got a 3rd Vulcan. That is exactly where CrossFit went. He took the Overlord, took the Photon, trying to protect his units from the big electromagnetic blast. It'll bring down shields, but it's not actually going to hit any of the techs due to the way Play Archer has his units positioned. And I think that is probably going to be lethal damage from Play Archer. My expectation here. Of course, we still haven't seen how this fight goes with the chaff timing coming the way that CrossFit imagined it would. This time he doesn't have a crawler in place to protect that guy from the new melter. And down it goes. Right side is a cakewalk for Play Archer. The left side is also going to go even before the tower goes down. And from here it's just disaster. For Play Archer, that round 2 oil pickup was huge in terms of when he was able to bring things back. The Cat's Muse says, oh look, Vulcan is still good. Congratulations, Play Archer. That one has been a long time coming, but we can finally say Play Archer is European champion. Congratulations, sir. Weekend Tournament Europe, number 70 champion. And hey, you've got it in the medal case. Nobody will ever be able to take it away from you. Well played, sir. CrossFit had a really solid run through this tournament, but as we saw Play Archer playing really solid defense, really, I mean, if you go back to the tempo of this game, that round 2 oil on the round that CrossFit was trying to flank and pull all of his chaff, really probably the key play of this game. And that points out just how early you can make a decisive decision like that, right? Like that, you don't have to be, oh no, I'm in actual hit points trouble on the bar to make a decision that turns out so valuable. Because as we saw, Apooche had that oil come back at a critical round in the in the late game when he really needed to be able to ensure that CrossFit didn't get the big win. Good work, really good work. So 13th last week, first this week. Play Archer your champion. And here is your final standings. Valiant 10th, Stony 9th, Fishmob 8th, HR Geiger Chad 7th, Hawk in Space from Germany 6th, Till 5th, Apooche 4th, Jay Schutz 3rd, CrossFit your runner-up, and Play Archer European champion. Well done. Congratulations, sir. I know that has been a long time coming. And Play Archer is part of the Curator program, will be one of the invited participants in the that launch tournament that we have described. Again, full details about that one will be coming on the 12th. So, we'll throw up the rest of the names for 11th through 30th. For those of you getting your name in lights, congratulations on some good runs. Cody in 12th, Doxun 16th. I see Mike Tyson in the top 20. And 21 through 30. There you go. There were two other groups. The intermediate group, congratulations to Zanussi, who appears to have beaten Mudge in the final. And in the rookie group, congratulations to Laser Maverick, who beat Finners in a 7-round tournament. Well done, guys. Deserved, I hope.